When a loved one dies, teens and children can find themselves on their own. Sometimes they're forced to take on the role of a deceased parent and suppress their own feelings of grief and loss. They can start acting out at school. There's even a higher risk of suicide. When the 21-year-old son of Adams Place founder Kelly Thomas Boyers was fatally injured in a car crash, she realized Las Vegas didn't have a centralized place that provided the grief support that she and her younger son needed. That motivated her to found Adams Place.
When my oldest son, Adam, died, he left behind a younger brother. I looked for resources in our community, which led me to look across the country on what other communities do to respond to children and teens coping with loss and grief. That journey inevitably led me to create Adams Place. We talked to doctors, social workers, school counselors to see what the need was in our community. And in Reno, Nevada, the Solistry gave us some great advice. They helped us get an initial grant. And in 2010, we opened the doors to Adams Place, and we haven't looked back since.
Adams Place now offers comprehensive grief support programs for children, teens, and families at schools, hospitals, and hospices around the valley. The organization's signature program is called Camp Cope. At Camp Cope, children and teens connect with kids their own age and learn healthy coping skills. They can be open and honest about their feelings. It's all designed to build resiliency.
I have been going to Camp Cope because of the loss of my dad, and it just makes me feel really sad because I used to go everywhere with him. Sometimes I cry about it, and I tell my mom that I miss him all the time. What I like best is being in Camp Cope is because I get to meet new people and make new friends. They're the same age as me, so they understand what I'm going through. The kids at the middles has lost their dad too, so I like it. The counselors are super nice. Talking about my feelings makes me feel better. I feel much happier every day.
We had our loss. Nobody else has had a similar loss in our family, our friend group, like the loss that we had. My husband passed. It was a complete and total surprise. I had no idea what to do. I had no idea where to turn. I had no idea who to talk to, anything at all. Thankfully, I was referred to Camp Cope, and they've been nothing but gracious, caring, understanding, giving me tools to help my daughter. Because that's my number one priority, making sure that she heals properly and she knows and she understands her feelings and everything that she's going through. It also has been helpful to me to know that I'm not the only one going through this type of situation. And also it just makes my heart happy that she has met other children, as sad as it is that they're going through the same situation, but she's not alone. And she knows that. And that's what Camp Cope has done, given us hope.
As the demand for services from Adams Place continues to grow, so has the organization's reputation. Adams Place is now getting attention from other communities.
In 2020, we were able to take Camp Cope virtual. We continue to support children and teens coping with loss and grief through our Camp Cope virtual programs. We also received inquiry about our Camp Cope curriculum and training from communities across the country. We now have Camp Cope programs in Spokane, Washington, and outside Columbus, Ohio. We are also hosting the National Conference on Children's Grief Support Groups here in Las Vegas and bringing in experts from around the country.
Adams Place is also looking to establish a permanent home.
This is our biggest need right now. One location that's large enough for our staff, volunteers, and most importantly, our families. So far, we've been relying on the kindness of hospitals and others to give us temporary office space and renting space where we can hold our Camp Cope programs in various locations throughout the valley. But now is the time for us to invest in a forever home. We're very optimistic that the generosity of corporations, small businesses, individual donors will allow us to create a forever home here in Las Vegas and the not-too-distant future.
Adams Place provides compassion, education, and coping strategies to people who are struggling with loss, because no child or teen should grieve alone.